wrong about virtues of Christianity. And you're wrong if you agree with Sean Hannity. If you think that pride is about nationality, you're wrong. You're wrong when you imprison people turning tricks. And you're wrong about trickle-down economics. If you think that punk rock doesn't mix with politics, you're wrong.
Hello.
You're wrong for hating queers.
Yes, you are wrong for that, and you're wrong for a lot of things. And welcome to You're Wrong. I am, of course, your host, Matt Stevens. It is Monday, which is your wrong day. We figured we'd get it out early in the beginning of the week when everybody's dealing with the Mondays. It's my Friday, so I love Monday, and this is fun for me. It's like a little catharsis. It gets me all the anger out from the week of dealing with Europeans at my restaurant. You can follow me on Twitter at TheMattShow365. And no, today we won't be talking about trickle-down economics, although we will do that one day because, man, people still believe it's true. But today, because Saturday, which I was very sad that I missed the march. I really wanted to go, but I had to work. And I got to make money, kids. This ain't cheap. Oh, baby. So the science march, because, you know, apparently now has many of this wonderful signs. If you haven't, like, gone through the internet yet and seen all the signs from the march, science march on Saturday, please do so. They are hysterical and sad all at the same time, and really, really just fun. We are marching for facts, right? We're marching because we have people that, quote, lead us, yet deny that fact and scientific method don't exist. Not that they don't exist, but that it's some sort of grand, scheme, malarkey, I don't know, by people to fool you into doing things like treating the planet properly. And the thing is that these people go hand in hand with religion. Now, I'm going to say this once, and then we're just going to assume it for the rest of the time, okay? Okay? So listen up before you all start losing your minds at the Match Show 365, if you do. And listen, I'm not saying that all religious people are people who deny science. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the majority of people who deny science are in fact religious, and that the ones who aren't are denying science out of greed. So I'm just going to lump them all together. But not all people who are religious deny science. Okay? I'm talking about the ones that do. Okay? I'm not talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the bad ones. Okay? Is everybody good? We're all good? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Climate change. Doctors. Immunizations. Evolution. The link between HIV and AIDS. The link between smoking and lung cancer. Vaccines, autism, the whole thing. They don't believe that these things either are true or are proven to be true. And the problem that we have is it's a massive disconnect, right? Because you have people that have literally watched their babies die because they wouldn't bring them to a doctor. That's how deep this goes. That's how bad it is. That's how Stockholm syndromed these people have been put into their religion, that it has been beaten into them so badly, or something happened to them that made them find this faith so badly that they are willing to let their child die as sort of a sacrifice to God's will that they won't go to a doctor. We have a president who doesn't believe that man is helping. Now, look, let's be fair. We know this. Climate change was going to happen anyway. The earth runs in cycles, and every cycle is different, but it still does that. So this was going to happen. The problem isn't that it was going to happen. The problem is that we've made it happen like 100 times faster. And that causes problems in ecosystems and with animals. We and them, we don't have time to evolve to the new conditions. But he thinks it's a hoax by the Chinese or the Japanese. Was it Japanese? I think it was Japanese. I apologize for that. A little brain cramp for a second. That's our president. That's the guy who leads us. He doesn't believe that this is true. Actual fact has been given over and over and over and over again about this. 97% of scientists agree that climate change is real. The funny thing is that the 3% are all probably on the Koch payroll somewhere. Or somebody's payroll who's either big oil or a land developer or somebody who likes to cut down trees when we have perfectly other great ways of making paper. So we have these people. They deny science. It's not this, it's this. It's God's will. But the thing that people leave out, and this is where religious people really, this is where you start to lose me, okay? Because, look, I am not a person that hates religion. I'm an atheist, yes, absolutely, every day of my life, atheist, okay? If the plane's going down, I'm not praying to God, okay? Because I don't think he's there. Not that I don't think. I know he's not there, okay? And if he is, and I do die, and I do somehow, because I've been a good person my whole life, get to see him, I'm going to smack him in his fucking mouth. Yeah, I said it, and I don't care, because screw that. Anyway, sorry, tangent. It happens sometimes. The thing that kills me about the religious people is this, is that they follow a book they don't know. They follow a book they don't understand. And they follow a book that has passages plucked out of context to serve the purpose of the preacher preaching to them. Again, not all preachers are like that, and not all religions are like that. Okay? I'm talking about the bad ones. Okay? Okay. Are we good? Okay. So they pluck things out. Think of it this way. God creates the world in 7 days. Sorry, 6 days, and then he rested. I mean, you did just create a world. Okay? There you go. They'll parse that as, well, the Earth is 4.5 billion years, so just divide that by 6, and that's how long a day is, right? Okay. Sure, if you want to do that. Fine. The creationists, right? They're the ones. They're the ones that kill you. But what they forget is this. If you go by the Bible, and that's what these people are doing, they're going by the Bible, okay? The Bible talks about the Garden of Eden. And Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And when they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, God was angry. Okay? And this is God punished Adam and Eve and all their descendants by making their lives hard. No longer could they live in the perfect world of the Garden of Eden. Men would have to struggle and sweat for their existence. Women would have to bear children in pain and be ruled over by husbands. Adam and Eve were thrown out of the beautiful Garden of Eden forever. That's not a direct quote. That's a good sum-uppance that I found that I couldn't come up with, and I apologize that, okay? But it's on ChristianBibleReference.org, so I'm going to go with it as being a source that you people would be okay with, all right? So here's where your arguments don't jibe, okay? This is where this doesn't jibe. We can argue till the cows come home how old the earth is, how long humans have been walking the earth. That's fine. If you really want to believe the earth is 5,000 years old or whatever the hell it is, go ahead. I'm going to choose to go with the fact that somebody can show me that this is this, and this is this, and this is how we got this. All you can say is that, well, God said it was, and I believe in God. Can you prove God exists? No. Well, I believe in him. That's not proof. See, that's the problem. You think your faith is proof. Faith is not proof. Faith is faith. And that's where you guys lose it. But even more so is there, you lose it right there. It's right in the fucking beginning, guys. It's right in Genesis. It's right there. God punished Adam and Eve, sent them out of the garden, said your lives are going to be hard. Nothing was going to be given to you. You were going to be given free will, and you could either choose to follow me, and if you did, you were going to be rewarded in the afterlife in the kingdom of heaven. And if you didn't, you were going to hell with the serpent. I never understood hell. I feel like if Satan really worked really hard to get you to go down there, when you got down there, if you earned getting down there, that he would treat you pretty good. Apparently, that's not what it is, but that's what it seemed like it should be. Right? Like Hitler is like sitting on like a chaise lounge somewhere, like, I don't know, with a fruity umbrella drink. And that the people who were sort of bad, you know, the people who didn't have any place to go, they went down there and they just sort of fucked with those people. But like the really bad people are like living it up. Or maybe this is hell and this is what's really going on. And Donald Trump was the worst person in the world. And I'm the person who was sort of like middling and I'm just living in this sort of purgatory hell. Either one is possible. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that God... that the argument that you have is that God wouldn't do this. God isn't against us. God doesn't want this to happen. Or that, you know, gay people caused God to do this, but that's ludicrous. So your argument is that God just made the planet and it's fine. Like God will provide for us, like the planet provides for us and provides for us. But science tells you it doesn't. Science tells you there's an end if we don't change the way we do things. But you don't believe science because you want to believe God. The problem is that God threw you out. He threw us out and said, go live on your own. You know what we are? Sorry, I need a little coffee. You know what we are? If you're religious, this is basically what you are. You are the gay kid whose father's a bigot, who when the kid finally has the nerve to come out, throws him out of the house and says, never come back. You're on your own. And it's like 17 or 18 years old or even younger than that. And that kid has to go out and their life is hard and they have to earn everything they get and they move on from there. That's what we are in God's eyes. We were thrown out and told you have to deal with it. And just by doing that should make it seem like, yes, the earth is not something just given to you. Yes, you need to take care of it. Do you ever think that was the fucking lesson? Did you ever think that for a second? Has anybody ever preached to you that that's the lesson? That you were kicked out of the garden because you couldn't follow the rules and you couldn't take care of the garden the way I asked? So I'm giving you this earth, okay? And I'm not going to tell you what to do, okay? I'm going to give you free will, and I'm going to see how you treat it. I'm going to see what you do with it. And we're failing badly. Because the same people that should be looking at it as the place that God gave us to live, we should want to treat it with the utmost respect. And yet they treat it like their toilet. Companies treating it like their toilet. Denying science because they know they'll get the votes to get the people in office to do it. But do you understand that if you actually read the Bible, if you actually went through just Genesis, you don't even have to read past that. That's it. Everything else is nothing. Now, it's not nothing, but you know what I mean? It's all hard. Life is hard. Life isn't easy. It wasn't meant to be easy. It wasn't meant to be given to you because you believe in a deity that may or may not exist. Because let's be fair. in a truthful fucking moment, in a truthful moment, an actual moment, if I gave you truth serum, if I gave you sodium pentothal, 90% of you would have doubts that God actually exists. And the other ones would just be too stupid to understand that he doesn't. Faith isn't fact. Right? We know that, right? Fact is fact. We have a thing. It's called the scientific method. Okay? It's not just God said so. Scientific method. It's an actual thing. Ask a question. Do background research. Construct a hypothesis. Test your hypothesis by doing an experiment. Not just walking around going, he exists. I'm telling you that. He's in my heart. Analyze your data and draw a conclusion. And then communicate your results. And is science perfect? No. By no stretch of the imagination should you ever take this as me saying that science is perfect. It's not. But at least science polices itself. Seriously, at least it does. The scientific method works for everybody. It works for both sides. So if somebody comes out with something, you try to prove that it's not true. That's the beauty of it. See, but you can't do that with faith because it's improvable. It's unprovable. You can't prove it. But I can prove science. And that brings it all together to this. Whether you believe that the earth was created 4.5 billion years ago or 5,000 years ago, whether you believe that I don't know, that the Garden of Eden actually existed or it was Darwinism, you know. Well, it doesn't matter what you believe, okay? It shouldn't matter what you believe. Whether you're an atheist or whether you're a Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or whatever, it doesn't matter what your faith is. The one thing we should all at least agree on is that the planet we live on, we should take care of and treat properly. But the broader thing is this. Why can't religious people just believe that God, after he threw us out of the garden, right? Threw us out, right? We all agree on that. It's right there. In Genesis, thrown out. I believe it's called the curse, if I remember my catechism class as well. Yeah, if you couldn't have guessed that I was raised Catholic, there you go. But after God throws us out, right? So God says, you're out, okay? World's going to be hard. Life's going to be hard. Life's going to suck. Have a good day. You could have had fucking paradise. Instead, you ate the apple and blah, blah, blah. And here you go. You're screwed. You're fired. And then he looks down on us and he goes, you know what? These guys are fucking scared, man. Look at them. They're just... You know, they don't understand what's going on. I mean, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's rain. There's water falling from the sky. There's lightning. They don't even know what lightning is. There's this sound booming from the heavens. Holy bejesus, there's this white stuff falling from the sky. Oh, my God, everything's happening. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot. They don't even know what hot and cold is. They just know it's a feeling they have. These poor kids. All that they've been told because they had no idea what the hell was going on was that there were these people in the heavens that control all of these things. And if we do all of these things to worship them, they will stop doing them. And God was like, you know what? That's not right. Because that's not what it is. This is a punishment. Okay? I'm out of it. Once I throw you out of the garden and gave you free will, I'm out of it. Because that's what free will is, guys. You can't have free will and God controlling everything. You can't. So, assuming that the Bible is correct, he gave us free will. We use that free will to do whatever we want. And so God created scientists to bring forth knowledge to the people about the world he created and how it works. Scientists are like the stereo instructions. Scientists are like the ludicrous IKEA instructions that when all the screws and things like look the fucking same, and you're like, well, which one is it? It's not clear enough. You don't have cameras? Why am I still getting like Photoshopped copies of things? I paid $20 for this fucking bookshelf. But scientists are like they're the scientists. That's what they do. They teach us how the earth works and how long we've been here and our history and our past and how to help better prepare us for the future. And God has sent them here to help us treat the planet the way that he wants us to treat the Garden of Eden, as a sacred place, as a place to take care of, as a place to, yes, use for food and shelter and fun and laughter and procreation, but to also treat as if it was your own home. Just think of it that way. Isn't that sort of like creationism, right? You know, the awesome idea of everything that science says is true. It's just right at the beginning, a huge dude in a white beard snapped his fingers and kaplooey, so it began. Which is fine if that's what you want to believe. Go ahead. But someone's going to have to explain to me who created God. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But folks, if you really believe, if you've read the Bible, if you're one of those people who's like, I've read the Bible, I know my Bible, I've read it every time. If you're one of those people, then you should know that this is not supposed to be easy. You should know that God is not like interfering in our everyday lives. Free will has made that not a thing for him to be able to do. Because if God really was in all of our lives, wouldn't we all be following him? Or you're saying he only follows the lives of the people that believe in him? See, but it can't be that way either, because he has to give you free will to make decisions. You've already made the one, but you got to make the others. Free will it doesn't just mean free will to faith and then he controls your every movement. That's not how it works. We have to get together and fix this. We have to stop. Because the planet is dying, okay? And not just the planet, but us. We are killing it faster and faster every single day that we pump more of these toxins into the air and don't treat the planet better every single day. The planet dies. And so if you believe in God, but not in science, if you're a science denier, you are so wrong about everything. You are so wrong about everything. From the person who let their kid die to the person who voted for Trump because he believes that climate change is a hoax perpetuated by the Japanese. You are so wrong, and you are killing us all. You don't understand this. You don't get this. You don't get this, but your wrongness on this, your inability to be inflexible on this is killing us. And not just us, but your grandkids and your grandkids who may not even exist because the planet might not be here for them in the end. So your ignorance, your wrongness is killing us. Thank you so much for listening. At the Matt Show 365, we are back tomorrow with sports. This has been You're Wrong with me, Matt Stevens, on Spreaker.com.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so nevermore.